Hey everyone, MTAS here, and they just made a post about Xiao. I think I'm saying that right, Xiao. They revealed him, and dudes, this guy has been leaked 500 times. Like, I've known about this kit forever. I don't like to talk about stuff until it is official, it is out there, until every bit of news is out there. Now, they don't give any multipliers or anything in this, but they do some descriptors of what Xiao is going to do. He is a highly mobile, burst damage dealer. He can sacrifice HP to obtain increased damage and jumping power for a short period of time. So if you want to jump on a ledge, you're set, okay? You want to jump on a ledge? The sky's the limit. He's a polearm user and uses Animo. Now, Animo is, it's not my favorite element in the game. Obviously, like, Venti is cracked, and, maybe pairing Venti with this guy will be nuts. But I don't love the Animo resonance and using multiple Animo characters. However, that being said, you might be able to pair him with some other characters and do some pretty cool stuff. Here's my worry. As an Animo character, can't melt, can't superconduct, can't do any of these other real major elemental reactions other than swirl. And swirl is fine and all, but when you compare it to melt, when you compare it to vaporize, I'm wondering, will he be able to keep up? Now, that being said, he's going to be sacrificing HP and boosting damage, which might give him multipliers that are pretty much unheard of any of the other characters in the game. So yeah, maybe you can't melt, but you're literally becoming a berserker, right? You're sacrificing HP to hit harder. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty cracked. Don't get me wrong, I want to see the final multipliers, but we'll have to see how that comes into effect. Now, the other thing too is what he misses in having a claymore or melt or anything. If he's able to jump in the air and able to slam down, right, and do those plunging attacks, the area of effect there is going to be pretty wild. On top of this, polearm users typically attack very quickly, and so if you are using Xiao and you've got the Crescent Pike is one of the best weapons DPS-wise in the game, and it is craftable. It is a very, very good weapon. And so, I would say that this character is pretty damn accessible. And that is definitely a good thing if you're a free-to-play player. Now, you're still gonna have to wish on the banner. If you don't have the Primo Gems, you don't have the Primo Gems. But if the Genshin gods gift you, well, at least you'll have a weapon that you can craft and hopefully do some really good damage. Now, obviously, if you have the 5-star weapons and things like that, it'll probably be better. But let's just keep going on here. There is some story. I'm not going to get into all the story. If you guys want that information, you can as well. Links are down below once again. And we've got some voiceover. I mean, I think you guys have heard his voice before. I'm not going to get into that either. His favorite food is almond tofu. Really important, miHoYo. Really know. Show me the stats! Show me the stats. That's what I care about. He's got a crush on Beto. Amazing. But here's the stuff. Here's the crispy things that I like to see. Now, we've seen some of this in footage already, but he does the whirlwind thrust. Now, you can see here it is multiple attacks, but there's a lot of slamming, and I'm really liking the look of this. Okay, that slam might be able to knock up enemies, which would make him really valuable. And then he's got this charge attack, which performs an upwards thrust. So you're going to see it right now. That could knock up enemies and be pretty damn valuable. I gotta see it to believe it. I don't know quite yet. But I think he's got a pretty cool attack animation overall. Is it as fast as Shangling's? I don't know. Will it perform as well with Crescent Pike? I don't know. And I don't know what the damage multipliers are on it just yet. Now, this one's interesting because it's kind of like, it's like a Kaching ability. And I wanted to talk about this because it actually comes with 2 charges, allowing you to be very, very mobile. Pairing this with your dodges, you could be extremely mobile on the battlefield. You'd be able to dodge some pretty crazy attacks. The only thing is there's most likely going to be kind of auto-locking or auto-targeting on it. And so if you're diving in, it might put you into danger depending how you use it. But being able to do this in the air, I think is really, really cool. I'm going to tell you why. I think this is really good. If you do use someone like Venti, there's a lot of times many characters are not very viable to help doing damage. When Venti sucks up enemies, they're flying there forever. It feels like they're up there forever. And you're just kind of sitting there, waiting for them to drop. Well, with Xiao, you'd be able to use your ultimate, jump in the air, hammer on them, and use this ability to dash through them while they're in air. And I think that that's actually pretty darn cool. I don't know what the damage is going to be on this just yet, but it opens up a couple doors if you're using someone like Venti. I think just period, it's going to be some nice burst damage. It's on that kind of 2-charge cooldown, and we're going to see what the different constellations do later on. I'll do a more kind of in-depth guide in a few days, but I think that that's a pretty fun ability. But this one is the Big Poobah. Now you can see here, the attack pattern, from what I can see, has not changed whatsoever. He throws in a jump and a slam attack, but what this does is it greatly increases Xiao's jumping ability. You can just jump in the air and slam. You can do plunging attacks right there, which is awesome. Now, you're not going to get as big of a multiplier because when you do a short jump and plunging attack, you're only getting a percentage. So don't get baited into seeing a damage number where someone's jumping off a ledge or something like that and getting more damage and like, oh, amazing. Most of the time, if you're on flat surfaces jumping in the air, you're going to get the smallest multiplier possible for that plunging attack. But this also increases his attack area of effect. Now, polearm users are kind of single target, in my opinion. They're very single target, they're very straight line, and if you're adding area of effect, you can see that he does a lot of sweeping attacks, kind of like a Claymore, kind of like Razor, and that is super valuable. If you're doing something like the Spiral Abyss, I think that he's going to be a really good single target damage dealer, but also with that area of effect, he's going to be much more valuable. In a Spiral Abyss, with so many enemies grouped up, you want that. And one of the big ones is Fatui enemies. They've got very big hitboxes. And if you can get them close enough and get that area of effect, you're going to smash the Spiral Abyss much, much quicker. Now, the other thing here, this is an important one. Xiao's attack damage is converted to animal damage, which cannot be overridden by any other elemental infusion. That means that if you're using Xiangyun, who normally would use the ability to make your attack cryo, it won't actually work. It will not work. And so this is interesting because you could get the attack speed from Xiangyun, but you won't be using that element. And that might be a good thing because you're going to go all in on Animo damage. You're going to use an Animo Cup, use the Venerer set or whatever the hell it is, and there is some potential for Xiao, or whatever his name is, to do super good damage because of that Animo Cup and the synergy with that Animo set, right? You're reducing defenses. And I really want to play around with this. Like, I'm really excited to see how this performs. It could be amazing. And my question is, with how fast he's attacking and the Animo damage, will he be able to swirl off shields really quickly, or relatively quickly, compared to someone like a Venti? Because he's got constant Animo damage, is he going to go swirl, 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 swirl? And if you are doing that, that would actually give you area of effect damage as well for the most part, because you're going to get some swirl elemental reactions, and against Fatui enemies, you can kind of swirl, you can swirl the elements onto the other ones. And so if there's a cryo enemy and an electric enemy, you can actually like attack the cryo enemy and take away the electric shield. So would you be able to just like bum rush in and like not face tank, but like kind of spam out shields with this? I don't know. Now in this state, Xiao is going to continually lose HP. So you're probably going to want someone like a Chi-Chi continually healing you. You're going to want someone like a Barbara who can put that continuous heal. Maybe you pop Xingqiu. Bennett, I think, is going to be obviously a really good one. I think Bennett is going to be great support because you want to all in here. You want to all in. You're a melee character. You're kind of face tanking or trying to face tank. I think that's the way I would play it, is throw down that Bennett and just go ham. Jump in the air and slam. Stand in the middle of that, get all that extra damage, get all that extra healing, and if you can group those enemies nicely, I think that could be really, really good. But that is kind of the main overview of the character. There's not much more to say. It's too early to tell. Will this be like a god tier character until you see the multipliers? I'm not going to say summon. I'm not going to say skip. I gotta know more. I gotta know more. I want to see the banner. He's a very interesting character. I see potential. I see some major potential. I don't know if this is going to be for me, though. I see the potential, but I don't know if it's potential that I want to dive into. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.